I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Destination X episode 7. We're getting deep into this thing.
We are. There's only 5 people left now?
Yeah,
6 people?
and they think we're going to former Soviet republics at this point. We've run out of mainstream European countries, and the contestants are like, we are going to Bosnia and Herzegovina.
I did not know where we were. I don't think anyone knew where. Wait, but first. If you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And we have a Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment if you want to support us there.
I got excited. I got right into the episode.
I know.
Forgot my intro.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't know where they were. They didn't know where they were.
Mm-hmm.
I think last episode, when everyone knew where they were, the producers got pissed and they said never again.
Wow.
And they gave them no clues.
But Mac was the only one who knew last episode. It's just that they blabbed and told everybody.
Rick knew. Rick figured it out.
Yeah.
Mac and Rick.
You're right, Mac and Rick.
And this is the first time I think Rick hasn't been able to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, they threw me for a loop as well.
Yes.
Because when, again, I keep saying this episode after episode, I figure I'm trying to get my head around how to watch this, how to play along as a viewer.
Yes.
So at the beginning of this episode, when they said we're 270 miles away from Destination X, and we're going to a naval city where even the buses float, I wrote Venice. And they took me on a journey away from Venice throughout this episode.
You were
to then
there.
land back in Venice. Yeah, I was kind of shocked when we ended up back there.
Well, you had that information.
I had that. They don't have that
Obviously,
information.
they don't. But
if they were
you.
told buses float, they would have been like, duh, it's Venice. But
I didn't know. I've never been to Italy. I don't know much about it. I can't wait to go. It's amazing. I'm going to eat so much food, drink so much wine.
Yeah, you are.
But I don't know these things.
But they're talking about the tie. Nobody wants the tie again. They're shook by that.
Absolutely. Biggie's feeling real bad about Mac.
Oh, yeah. And Rick is kind of like, that was the only way we were ever going to get Mac out of this game.
I mean, fair.
And people are like, I think Shane specifically, people are looking at Peter. Because they're like, look at this move that he made.
Oh.
He's the most dangerous person in the game right now. So I kind of felt like the target was on Peter this episode.
I have last untamed river in Europe. Did they tell us that?
That's how JDM characterized the
Where
first
they were.
river. When they did
When
goggles
they
on and they
goggles
whoop,
on,
whoop,
whoop, whoop, whoop.
and they end up, yes.
They're at a river.
Another stunning vista.
Seriously.
The mountains, those southern Alps are so beautiful. The cliffs, the bridges.
And I think is this when Peter's like, these are the Southern Alps?
Southern Alps, and we're in northern Italy. He's right.
He's right.
He should have listened to himself.
He's right.
So now they have to the kayak down the river.
Yes, and they're going to be randomly paired.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone...
How random was this?
Explain the definition of random. Because it looked to me like you put the two ladies together.
Uh-huh. And then it was Peter and Biggie, right? Mm-hmm. And Shane and Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to kayak down this beautiful, untamed river. And they're going to come to clues, and they have to find the odd one out.
This was really hard.
What is not like... Wait, what's that?
Which of these things
is not like the other? Okay.
Did you get this?
No.
Elton John, Madonna, Simon and Garfunkel, whoever, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, whenever, I think it was the ladies who were like, Elton John's the only British one.
I was like, that's a decent guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He is the only British one.
But it was like, you can't really do bands versus solo, because you've got two solo, and then a duo, and then a band.
And a band, yeah.
And I just didn't know what to think about it.
No idea.
Turns out, who said, oh, these people have songs about bridges?
Rick!
Was that Rick?
Yes!
This man is a trivia machine. Bring him to bar trivia.
Oh my God. I was like, what?
I never would have gone there.
No, that was great, because as soon as he said it, I was like, oh wait, yeah. And I'm like naming bridge songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Well, I only knew the one, Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Oh, you don't know the Red Hot Chili Peppers song?
What's that?
It's like, under the bridge. we live in Southern California. They play Red Hot Chili Peppers nonstop.
They love them here.
I'm sure you've heard it.
I bet I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, good on you, Nettie, to, sort of identify Madonna as the only woman.
Only woman, that's fair.
That's
valid.
the correct answer. It's not what they were getting at, because the bridge thing is also a clue.
Right.
Because there are tons of bridges in Venice.
Okay, great.
Okay. So that's the first one. I did not get that.
No. Capital non-island. What was that?
What? First of all.
That's my note.
Lajana? I have never seen that in my life.
Lahu, blah, blah, blah.
Mykonos, Sicily.
Okay. Those we know.
Bled? I don't know Bled.
I don't know Bled.
If...
Mykonos and Sicily, I'm gotcha.
Those are islands. I'm aware of that.
Those are.
Bled, I would not know as an island. Ljubljana, I would not know as a capital.
Is anything. I would not.
Ljubljana, I think is how they're saying it. Regardless, if you had any doubt that these people were tasked with educating themselves about Europe before this show, this is proof.
Right. Because you would remember the capitals of all the things.
You would know that Ljubljana is the capital of Slovenia, which I say Slovenia.
Okay.
And all these people are out here like, oh, I think we're going to Slovenia. And I'm like, is it Slovenia?
It's Slovenia.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Over here, it's Slovenia.
I'm really starting
Maybe it's over there.
to feel like an ignorant American at this point.
No, this was I was like, we're in a region I do not know.
Then, balloon, ice cube, cork, marbles. I might have gotten there with this one.
Yeah.
Something that sinks and the rest of them float.
Yeah, but it is confusing because you're like, ice melts. Again, the ladies were not nowhere.
That's right.
They
are correct.
Figuring it out.
Ice cubes do melt and the other things don't.
Right.
I mean, maybe marbles melt at a certain heat.
Don't think so. It's pretty darn solid.
I think glass has a melting point, don't you think?
Glass? That's not marble.
Marbles are made of glass.
No, marble is it's like marble countertops.
Oh, but I think the bag said marbles. I know the clue ended up being like marble, the material, but I think it said marbles on the bag.
Well, we're going to have to look that up. Because, like, if you're playing marbles, I don't know what those are made of.
Yeah.
But marble's the material.
It's made of marble.
It's marble.
It's like a stone.
It's a stone.
Yeah, okay.
You ain't melting no stone.
Well,
okay.
Marbles is the answer.
So we can tell who's getting them right and wrong.
Rick and Shane.
Rick and Shane.
They've got all three. Everybody else has one, if any.
The ladies got 0.
Okay, yeah. And Peter and Biggie
got 1. Even though Peter was confidant about, I think, all 3.
Yeah, I think they got the Ljubljana one.
But he only got 1.
Yeah. Okay, so Rick and Shane now get a clue when they go back on the bus. And the clue, there's a lot of filler in this bus segment, talking about God knows what. I didn't really care. It's like, where's the game? So they get a clue with this postcard.
They get the postcard.
Yeah.
Now, every episode up to now, they have seen a flag.
Yeah.
Or something.
In the first challenge, you mean?
This clue, the winners getting a clue, have seen something very blatant about the country. Mm-hmm. This postcard did not clearly say Italy
First of all,
whatsoever.
This postcard is not produced by any souvenir shop in the world. This was created by production.
A blown up photo.
Because it is zoomed in
Yeah.
on a very specific part of what we later learn is a bridge. But it is so zoomed in that it's not scenic. It's not notable.
You cannot tell
I don't
what this
know what
is.
you're supposed to get from this.
And Rick, who's like, this is not a famous place, but it does appear to be made of marble. And there is like a Madonna up there.
The Lady Madonna. Was it really her? Did they reveal that at the end of the episode that it was Madonna, or did Rick just invent that? Like, there's a woman, that's revealed. Lady Madonna.
But it might have been revealed because there was a clue reveal at the end.
Yeah. Well...
At this moment, though, when the guys are like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
They say marble, Madonna.
So we've got to be in Ljubljana.
In Ljubljana, because that was the other answer.
Yeah. So now I, as a viewer, am starting to be led in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
thinking, okay.
Valid.
I thought it was Venice, where the buses float, but I guess it's Ljubljana.
You are wrong, David. Wrong.
I thought, my theory that they're going to all the most obvious places in Europe has been finally proven wrong.
Yep.
They're going to Ljubljana, Slovenia.
This is it. They're in that place
Yes.
that I didn't know existed.
Shane and Rick were literally screaming.
They were. That's
I
a
was
bit
like,
much.
y'all are being really loud.
Really. A bit much.
Yeah.
Oh, also, did you love this moment when Rick's like... Was it this moment? Rick was like, do I tell Shane?
Yes.
And he was like, you know what? I'm aligned with these other people, but I may need Shane someday. And I was like, Rick, don't try to put a name on it. You just want to tell people things.
Yeah.
You can't keep a secret.
You love to blab. And
You
I think
love to.
And I think he loves other people knowing how smart he is.
Well,
Which is actually not great.
well,
for you.
it's not great for the game, but good on you for being so smart.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they're screaming, then we go to sleep. The next morning, JDM pops up in video, and it's time for the next challenge. You guys are going to war. Goggles on, whoop, 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 and we go to this, like, haunted, abandoned building.
Did you completely miss their personal stories segment?
That was the part of the filler. I was like, who cares?
Oh, filler. That was filler.
What did you think?
I thought it was really lovely because we haven't seen that yet.
What was the loveliest part?
I mean, I don't care about their stories.
Okay, thank you.
But the fact that they were sharing and they seemed to care.
They
Like,
seem
so-
to be connected.
Yeah, that was a good bonding time
Yeah.
for them.
Great for them.
I cannot relate to someone
I
who
just
was
thought it
like,
was
I'm not
filler.
married yet.
Oh, yeah, she's like, I'm 27 and I don't have 4 children.
I was like, girl, pump the brakes.
Yeah,
Give
I
yourself
know.
time. But I did think that that was nice to see them getting along.
Yeah.
And I feel like so good for Rick. He's come so far. Remember when he was villainized?
I do.
And now he's got
Like
friends.
episode 2 or 3, now he's friends. Everybody
I like that
likes
for
him.
I like that for him.
Okay, anyway, we're at
All
the
right.
abandoned building.
Okay, my bad. Back to the game.
So we don't care about their personal lives. Okay. Janae is like, that's the Croatian flag. They're looking around this building. It's like faded flag paintings. An army comes out. They're seeing like
Oh my God, this was dramatic.
lions on the red drums.
Yes.
Like they know to look anywhere and everywhere, and the colors all could mean something.
Yes, they're
So-
picking up on stuff.
Yeah.
The is it dragons? Lions with the wings.
yeah.
But like they don't know what that means.
Yep.
When the army came out and Joffrey was like right behind,
Oh yeah.
strutting, I was
yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
drama.
Jeffrey has swagger.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fun host.
Yeah, he'll eat it up a little.
He will. He will chew the scenery. I gotta say, this fortress city was cool as hell.
It really was.
But when they showed us the overhead and then the like old timey map of the drawing of it, I was like, this is really
Very
cool.
I was like, where is this? I've never heard of it. The way he was describing, like, however he described it.
Yeah.
But yeah, pulling out, it looked like a pentagon or whatever, and you could only have enter in so many places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked this whole thing, even though I was like, again, we don't know where we are.
No.
No clue.
And also, like, it's not Venice, so like I'm not sure, they never identified, like it's
Clearly
not
not
like the
Venice.
episode where they were like, we're in Orvieto
Yeah.
doing this challenge, and then they end up in Rome. Like they don't identify what this city is, to my
No.
memory at least.
Well, not the name, just like, it's the oldest
Fortress city.
fortress,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. So we have 2 teams. Peter and Shane are our team captains.
Right.
They're going to pick their teams.
Yes.
And they're doing their best on no information. And they pick their allies. So Peter picks Rick and Janae. Shane picks Biggie and Allie. And then Rick has a bee in his bonnet about that because he's like, well, now the losing team is going to the map room. So Peter, what were you thinking?
No,
What was he
did-
thinking?
No, first off, Rick did not have a bee in his bonnet.
He was
until
mad.
Post-show, when producers were like, sit down and let's do your confessionals.
Well, I don't
And
like that
then
narrative, producers.
Rick was like, by the way, Peter put us all together. That didn't work out. In the moment, Rick is not, no, he did not think about that at all. I thought it was brilliant. I was like, yeah, Peter,
Me
pick your
too.
team.
And I just feel like, I mean, sometimes you just say what the producers want you to say in those confessionals, but as a savvy viewer of these kinds of shows, I'd be like, actually, I'm not saying that.
Savvy.
Because I don't want to come off like I don't.
Let me tell you, I'm going to bring up another one. There's another one at the end of here. But
Yeah.
Rick does not, he says, what do you want me to say? I'm going to say it bigger.
Yeah, you're
He's
right.
like, what? This is ridiculous.
Because it's ridiculous to be upset in the moment.
No,
Peter
he was
didn't
not.
know that was going to be how it was going to be.
No, remember when they were like, do 1, 2.
Yeah.
Pair up and do 1, 2. And then they got split up. Like, they just have no idea. It's
Right.
like, okay, I'm going to pick my team. Might as well pick the people
Right.
that I want because there's only a couple of other people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
So it made sense to me. I was like, great. We got OGs all together. We got that alliance
Yeah.
all together.
Yep.
Then they're going to realize that whoever wins is safe. Whoever loses, all go to the
Yeah.
nap room. And then you're like, well, that does kind of stink.
It does.
But you don't know.
But it's a fun twist.
Yeah.
So they're basically playing this version of Battleship, but also kind of like that game in Squid Game. Do you remember where they have to like...
I did not watch Squid Game.
Well, there's a challenge on there where they like there's this glass bridge that's divided into squares, but only 2 wide instead of 3, and you hop on these glass squares and it might fall out from underneath you and you fall to your death.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing. But they get to plant bombs, sort of thing, in this version of the game, and they're just trying to stop each other from making it to the end. I really thought Shane was going to take the whole thing on the first go around.
Shane is intuitive.
Well, it's this.
I can't wait to talk to him.
It's whatever this is. I'm like
so excited about
is
this.
some sort of like weather, like
Yep.
you're feeling.
Yep. This is it's a resistance thing.
It's a divining rod.
It is a little bit of that. It is a technique where you like ask questions and you like push and you get resistance.
I've never heard of that before.
I know, because it's part of the intuitive world and I love it. I can't wait to talk to him about it. But yeah, so he is like going straight, which was basically their plan. Like if you go straight, you're more than likely.
I thought it was a great plan.
I was like, I don't think that that's a great plan.
Oh, I thought it was.
I was like,
Because I think they're only going to stack so many in one individual column. I think they had six bombs and 3 columns. So there's probably 2 max in a given column. And then you can just...
I know, but you're going to eventually have one, like 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Like I would have like mixed it up like that.
Yeah.
But I love that Shane like detoured when he knew to detour.
He did.
He made it all the
They
way
were like,
to
this
the
is
end.
not the plan. But he made it all the way to the last row.
Last row.
And that's kind of the worst place to get out because at that point, Peter was already out, right?
Janae was out first.
Janae was out first. And so Peter got on. So then when Shane was eliminated in the last row, Peter's halfway down the board at this point.
True.
So now Biggie's stepping in, right? Or was it Allie?
Yeah, it was Biggie.
And if Peter had made it,
which Peter might have
like
made
Biggie
it.
can't catch up,
Right.
you know?
I hear you on that, except that Biggie knows all the answers.
Right.
And you know, you just have to pick the next one over. You're
Totally.
going to be it.
That's absolutely
You're right.
true. But so it's just a matter of like, can Peter guess right?
Yeah.
And if Peter can guess right, you're SOL because you're just behind.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
But odds are they're going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And
They
Biggie knows all of the information. Yes, Peter is going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
He's going to be out, which then, of course, they see Biggie step on just the next one over. Everyone knows that's safe.
Yeah. I mean, Rick tried to be like, how good is their memory when Biggie has to like step on? It's like, it's not that hard.
I was like, he just went straight and like over one and back.
It's all good.
I think he's good.
So the OGs won. Rick and his newbie alliance.
This is the first time Rick has lost, so I'm like, not hating that.
Mm-hmm.
Good on the OGs.
So we go back on the bus, and Rick's like, I gotta get some information out of Biggie. And he goes to Biggie, and he's like, can you tell me something? Tell me anything. And Biggie's like, gotta be Ljubljana.
Gotta be.
It has to be.
Where else would we be? And honestly,
I don't have any more information.
I say, yeah. Where else would they be?
Legitimately, yes. I have seen no other clues.
No other clues?
That would get... I did earlier in the episode when you said floating buses.
But that was
But
to
I've
us.
been led another direction now.
Unless you know where the lions with the wings are. I've seen no other clues.
Unless you paid attention to a terrain map of Venice
That you were literally
being the
walking
background
on.
of a game board, which nobody was.
Apparently no one looked down.
There's no way anybody was going to get Venice this episode.
Ugh.
So now Rick is like, okay, I think it's Ljubljana.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out a way to make them think we're in Croatia. Right? Peter and Janae.
Yeah.
He goes over there and he sits down. And Peter's like, I think it's Ljubljana.
Yeah.
And Rick kind of does this thing where he tries to convince them both that they're in Croatia. But I think what I might have done is said, good thought, Peter. And thought in my head, I would rather get Peter out, but I'll settle for Janae because I don't want to go out. So I'm going to pull Janae aside and I'm going to say, I think we're in Croatia. Let's get Peter out and let him think it's Ljubljana. You and me, let's write Croatia. So then at that point, Janae writes Croatia because she thinks smart man Rick has given her some insider info. And then you hope for the best.
That's real sneaky. I don't know that I would have played it that way.
Yeah.
Because that's hardcore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Janae and
True.
Peter
It
feel.
really depends on how loyal Janae is to Peter.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought Rick did the best he could because they're used to talking, the three of them.
Yeah.
And so he's being like, I don't know, I think it's this, which they're used to him being so darn smart.
Yeah.
That it's not like he's like, I know for a fact it's this.
No, he's like, I think. And Janae seems convinced because
Yeah.
she had seen the flag. You know, granted that confessional was, like you say, probably after the fact. But she had seen this flag and said, I think it's Croatia. So she's, you know, Rick is like, I think we're in Croatia. And she's like, yeah. So
That's
we
what I
know
was
it's
thinking.
Croatia.
Yep, mhm.
Now it's just which city.
Yep.
So she's convinced. But I'm also just confused what the thinking was at this point around the three of them working together, going into the map room. Don't you think an alliance,
Right.
we'd just be like, Sarah,
Yeah.
good luck to you.
Yeah.
It's one of us, and I'm sorry that one of us has to go, but like we should probably just do our own thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's very true. But
Yeah.
like also if you're just like, I think it's Ljubljana, but I don't really know,
Yeah.
and like one of us has to go, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you kind of have to leave it at that, and that's what it felt like because Peter was like, maybe it's this,
Yeah.
and they didn't really sell it, and
No.
I think that's because they all knew like I have to have one of these other people go.
Yeah.
So it's not me.
Yeah.
But Janae, I don't think ever really fully knew where she was in this game.
No.
Like she was obviously a fun personality
She's a character.
on the show.
Yes.
But she was like, where are we? Help me
Uh-huh.
out. What's
Yeah.
this clue?
Yeah.
So she had to just go off of what she was being told.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Peter and Rick were like, well, saw the mountains and I saw this and like,
Yeah.
what could it be?
Yeah.
But
I
here we
think
go.
Peter was holding on to like the Southern Alps
Yes,
idea.
exactly. He
And-
didn't share that.
Yeah.
Didn't hear him say that.
So, in the map room, Rick places it in Ljubljana. Janae does Southern Croatia. And it looks like Peter does like somewhere north of Slovenia.
He's in northern Italy.
Northern
I don't know
Italy, right.
where.
Yeah.
But he was somewhere near the Alps. He
Yeah.
was like, I know we were near the Alps,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go up here. Which makes sense, but like we don't know where we are. So I'm like, I don't know who's the closest. Is it Ljubljana?
Well, turns out nobody was even close. JDM comes on the bus. He's like,
loved
oh,
this.
1 week after you all
Y'all
had a
all
tie and
knew it.
shared information, you did 3 different countries and no one was even close.
They were like, what?
Yeah.
I loved this because now everyone knows, including Rick, that Rick was not right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great.
JDM said, this is my favorite part of the episode where someone leaves my bus. I was like, you are savage.
Savage. He did. He was like,
I
"Here
would
we
come
go."
on like, this is my least favorite part. I don't want to see anyone go. He's like,
No.
get off my bus.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Making y'all miserable.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I love it.
So he announces that Janae is out. She, I think, doesn't really care that deeply. And she walks off the bus and she's like, you know what, you guys? Rick deserves it.
Oh, that was so sweet of her.
It's so sweet.
I think this was when I was like, remember when Rick had it horrible?
Yeah.
And now she's like literally calling him out for being like
And
a
he's
lovely
like,
person.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, what a turn for him.
Yeah.
Before she was evicted, they latched the bus onto a floating.
Oh, that's
thing
right. They were
evicted.
like, we just boarded something.
Yeah. I was watching with Douglas, and he was like, that would be so unnerving.
Yeah.
You can't see. You have no idea where you are, but you feel
and now
like
the bus is like,
yeah, you're like,
on top
whoa.
of water.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that feel so weird?
Yes.
And then poor Janae gets off, and he's like, Venice.
He said, welcome to Venice. I said, what?
Yeah.
How?
Venice? What?
How were they supposed to get Venice?
We're back in Italy, which I love that they went back to Italy because that is tricky. You're probably not thinking
you're probably
Italy.
like, check Italy off the list.
Honestly, that crossed my mind when Peter was like, Northern Italy. I was like, oh, he wasn't there when they went to Italy. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know they were in
That
Rome.
was the first thing that
he
crossed
had to
my
have
mind.
talked to them about that, though.
I'm sure it had come up, yeah. But yeah, I was like, are you kidding me, Venice? Now, luckily they did a clue review here, which you guys know I love.
Luckily, nothing.
But
this did not help me at all.
Exactly. That's when I was like, oh, I get it. Producers were pissed.
Yeah. They were like, we're going to make this impossible.
Anyone to actually know where they were.
Yeah.
And those clues were so hard.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't even reveal what country they were in, much less the city.
They said, well, if you're paying attention, there was a lion on the drum.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, there was, but...
There was. And then...
What does that mean?
Remember the map.
The map was on the floor.
Yeah, the map was on the floor. And the postcard that was zoomed in on a piece of stone, obviously that's a famous bridge in Venice.
Obviously.
And just so we're all clear, Venice is a city of bridges, which none of them put together. Well, one team put together that bridges was the thing. And then it's a city of islands, which I don't know who put together that the other three were islands and Ljubljana was not an island. And it's also a floating city. And again, it's like nobody grabbed on to those three bag things as being nicknames for Venice, Italy. Like, it's way too much of a leap to make.
Which I love. I love it being tough. But we've had, what is this, episode 7? We've had 6 episodes that were like, let's hand it to them.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's like,
literally,
what?
Like, literally in episode 1, they were like, the Colosseum. And they were like, Rome. Okay, Rome.
Yeah, it's been so easy. They've been like waving the flag. They're like, here's where you are. And now this time they were like, nothing. I mean, great clues if you really had to think about it.
Yeah.
But I did not see that coming.
Yeah. And what's going to be fun is like on season 2, viewers now have seen all of this and they know what is potentially a clue. So they're going to be looking at the game board to see if there's some sort of design clue on a game. Like, they're going to be paying attention to everything.
Yeah.
So it is going to be fun
And
to see
honestly,
how the producers can continue to hide
if
the
Mac
clues.
were in the game, she would have seen that on the floor immediately and known exactly where they were.
Yep.
I didn't know all of this about Venice. I was excited to learn that it's all bridges.
Yeah.
And
all bridges and
that's
sinking.
yeah, I gotta get there before it sinks.
Yeah, you do.
I do know that there are canals. I get that.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. There
Quite a
would be
network
bridges.
of canals. That bus on the boat thing, I don't even know if you can call it a boat, but it's on some sort of floating device.
Yeah, that was
Like,
wild. I was
this is
like,
crazy.
Get them to land.
Yeah.
Please. So I was told that Janae was not available for press.
Oh, bummer.
I wonder if she's on
she's
another
with Kim?
show. She's with Kim. But they told me Kim wasn't feeling well, but they said Janae wasn't available. So I wondered if she was... Is she on Love Island again? Like, where is Janae?
Huh.
I don't know. I'm
Where
sure.
in the world is Janae? Destination
Where
X.
in the world is Janae? Or maybe she just didn't want to do press. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I did not get to talk to her, unfortunately.
That's too
That is
bad.
a bummer. But whoever is out next, hopefully I get to talk to them next week.
Yes.
We're down to, I think, 5.
We are down to 5.
And the OGs have their majority, if that helps
If
or
that
matters.
helps. Yeah.
But Rick and Peter still have each other, and they're pretty tight.
They're quite good at the game.
They are.
Rick, Peter, and Biggie
Yeah.
are the 3 strongest.
They are.
Knowledge-wise.
I thought Allie was pretty strong.
Me too, but she's kind of been flopping in the past couple of episodes.
But when she got paired up with Janae,
I
did not see the strength.
No.
Didn't see it there.
No.
So we shall see. But yeah, I think we only have a few more episodes left.
yeah, we're at 7. It's probably 10.
Yeah, I think so. So a few episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
So stick with us, please. Let us. Oh no! First off, you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here live. Y'all are amazing.
Yes, and leave us a comment if you're joining us later, and let us know how you feel about Janae going home, the difficulty level of these clues, and where do they go next? Where did they go from Italy last time? Switzerland? Are we going back to Switzerland? Are we going to Zurich?
Right. They could go down to like Spain, Portugal.
They could do that.
Or they could go back up to
Slovenia,
Croatia. And they should go to
Ljubljana.
Just to throw them off.
Yes.
They should go there next. Absolutely. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, bye.